Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I?
Today I'm gonna do a video, kind of like a revision video, right? Of a video I made, I think like 3 or 4 years ago. And it's gonna be about the best starting characters for newcomers in Tekken 7. Tekken 7 has changed a lot in the past 3 years. We've had a whole 2 extra seasons. As you guys can see, this character select screen has gotten a lot bigger since my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, I'll link it up at the top right now. It should be popping up right now. The reason I'm doing this revision video is because for some reason that video has gotten a lot of views ever since 3 years ago, and I had a bad mic back then. A lot of stuff was different back then, and the whole entire game was different back then than it is now. And I feel like I can give a lot more insight now that I've played this game a lot longer since then. I know a lot more about the game, and there's a whole bunch of new characters in the game to basically pick from to start as beginner friendly characters. In my previous video, the best characters I stated for beginners were Kazumi and I think Shaheen. Those were the 2 characters I picked for beginners. But now, me being a Tekken player for a very long time, I play the game extremely seriously. I don't play it as much nowadays for various reasons. Right here actually, not really him, but just because I played the game so much I got burned out, and now I'm playing Street Fighter quite seriously nowadays. And I guess I have a bit more insight on what I can offer to just anybody just looking to just get into the series, right? You're just an average dude, you got a 9-to-5 job, you just want to play some damn Tekken, and you just want to get a character you trying to vibe with. And I understand that, and that's what I'm here to help you out with. Hopefully my video can help you out with that. So I've changed my opinions greatly on starting characters for Tekken 7. Kazumi and Shaheen, I think differently of these characters now that I'm a better player. I don't feel like these are good beginner friendly characters on the surface. There's many reasons why. Playing fighting games, I play multiple fighting games nowadays, and I just see many things, I know many things now. There's a such thing as a beginner friendly character at first, and then they turn into an advanced character as you go forward. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think there's a single character in Tekken 7 who is beginner friendly, quotation mark, besides a very few exceptions. The only characters I feel like are truly beginner friendly would be Katarina, Claudio, maybe. He's a very hard maybe because he's very gimmicky. Leroy Smith, he's extremely beginner friendly. I can't lie about that. Asuka, and that's another hard maybe. And I think there's someone else, maybe Bob to a certain extent. And there's a few other characters I want to point out, but I don't make the video too long. But there's only a very few exceptions for truly beginner friendly characters, and what I mean by that are characters with very small move lists, right? So you don't got characters like fucking Nina, or characters like Lei Wulong right here, who got 200 fucking moves, or Hwoarang over here with like 300 moves you gotta memorize in like 2 days, right? You got characters with very small move lists, very simple game plan as well. So it's not much to understand. They got pretty good tools, and you can get some pretty high damage combos, just are easy to win with at a certain rank, right? But I feel like as you increase your rank, you're gonna start to plateau with a lot of these characters in this game. And that's where the beauty of Tekken kind of comes in, and where you kind of want to go into training mode and start actually really learning your character, and not just doing the same hell sweep over and over again and getting it blocked and getting launch punished and then rage quitting offline. So I want to start this video off by saying I talked to a friend of mine, right? He wanted me to talk about Kazuya and Jin, or even the Mishimas, in regards to them being beginner friendly characters. And when I thought about it for a moment, I kind of said to myself, they're not beginner friendly characters because they take execution, you gotta wave dash, you gotta do electrics, you gotta do all this kind of shit, spacing, all this bullshit, right? But when you really think about it, when I sat down and really played Jin, I don't really play Kazuya or Heihachi, but I did play Jin for a moment. On the surface, it's easy to look at these characters and think that they're beginner friendly, because if you think about it, Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, they have very small move lists, right? And their game plan is extremely simple. Technically, they're a very simple game plan. Kazuya has a very simple game plan. It's not hard to understand. Kazuya is based around defense. So he's based around creating whiffs, whiff punishing. He has extremely good block punishment. 1-1-2, back 1-2, 11 frames, knockdown, hell sweep. He's got a good 50-50, the hell sweep, the classic. Hihachi's good rush down character for Mishima. Jin is just a good all-around character, the parry, the hop kick, all that kind of shit. 4-4-2, the standing 4. So on paper, these characters are really good. Kazumi as well. She's extremely simple game plan, very small move list. But what I feel like what makes these characters not really beginner friendly is because at a certain rank, at a certain point in time, you're going to plateau with these characters and you're going to come into a huge roadblock where it's gonna probably make you hate the game when you start with these kind of characters, because truth be told, you can probably have fun with these characters on a very beginner, newcomer friendly level in like blue rank, hell, maybe even green rank. But once you hit at least high yellow, mid yellow, you're gonna start getting a roadblock with definitely Kazuya, definitely Hihachi, and most kind of probably Jin as well, because Jin is quite technical if you really want to take him there, and probably even Kazumi as well, to a certain extent. The reason I'm saying that is because these characters require what's called fighting game fundamentals, and these are things that have to be built up over time from playing multiple fighting games and from just having a general understanding of the ground game, the neutral, backdashing, movement, spacing, punishing, all that kind of stuff, creating whiffs, and execution, all that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff just doesn't come naturally to a lot of people, especially when you're newcomers to a new game, which is why I don't really want to refer these characters, maybe unless it's Kazumi and maybe Jin to a very, very certain extent as a newcomer friendly character, because you're gonna plateau at a certain point in time, and the game's not going to be fun for you because you're going to start getting your ass kicked because you can't do electrics, and you're going to need to do electrics in a lot of situations, okay? So back on who I feel like are beginner friendly characters in this game. So this is such a divisive opinion. I'm just going to go over the characters that I feel coming from me as a personal player. My opinion may be different from whoever watching this video right now. These are just my opinions. You see Katarina right now. I used to main this character. She's extremely easy. Very, very easy, no execution required, and she has an extremely simple game plan, very small move list. A dummy, an idiot with brain damage could play this character and they could probably put in work with her. Very high damage character. I feel like she's a very beginner friendly character on an advanced level and on a newcomer level, because her game plan is the same no matter what level. She did get nerfed this season quite heavily, so maybe you might not want to go this route. She's not as brain dead as she used to be, unfortunately, but she is still a beginner friendly character. Another beginner friendly character that someone told me to mention in this video was Hwoarang, and I'm going to talk about Hwoarang right now because I'm going to get this through you guys' head. Hwoarang is not a beginner friendly character. I play this character. I actually main this character to a certain extent, and let me tell you guys a story, right? When I first started Tekken, I wanted to play this character. This was 3 or 4 years ago. Hwoarang is not an easy character. Yeah, he might look easy. Yeah, he might feel easy when you're getting your ass kicked by him. You're seeing him just do string after string after string over and over again. Let me tell you guys something. If you're fighting against somebody who knows how to defend against Hwoarang and shut his shit down, he becomes a very hard character to play. Because truth be told, there's a lot of characters in this game that are like Hwoarang. Zafina, Xiaoyu, Gonryu, who else we got? Lei, Yoshimitsu, fucking Eddie Gordo. Characters where they're gonna curb stomp you if you don't know specifically how to deal with the matchup with your respective character. Hwoarang is exactly like that, and I feel like Hwoarang is one of the easier characters to get over that hurdle with, because Hwoarang is not as bad as Zafina. Hwoarang is not as bad as Lei. Oh my god, no. Hwoarang is definitely not as bad as Yoshimitsu. Oh god. But Hwoarang will still suffer from the same problems once you learn how to defend against him and fight that matchup. Hwoarang is very unconventional. He's not your ordinary Tekken character. He doesn't have an ordinary down forward one. He doesn't have an ordinary, he doesn't have a hop kick. A lot of his tools come from stances. He has extremely bad while rising punishment. He has extremely bad punishment in general. And as a beginner getting into this game, you're not gonna really understand how to utilize that kind of toolkit in certain situations, and you're just gonna be like, oh my god, wow, this guy is just ridiculous, right? Or you could just do down 3-4 all day and just hope for the best. But like I said, if I didn't get somebody who knows how to defend against that, just like Kazuya, just like Heihachi, just like Jin, you're gonna run into a roadblock at a certain rank, and you're gonna get mad and you're gonna get your ass beat, okay? Don't start with this character. He's a specialist character for a reason, unless you're really looking to put in the time with him. It took me 6 or 5 months to learn this character. When I first started really wanting to learn him a few months ago, it took me like 6 or 5 months, and I'm only like half decent with him. I think I'm a pretty decent player with Hwoarang, but he's a very hard character. So another easy character I want to talk about is going to be Leroy Smith, the most controversial character in Tekken 7 to date. I've seen a lot of comparisons drawn with Leroy to Bob back in Tekken 6. He's a character that came out in the game and he almost completely invalidates the entire roster because he's so fucking good. And I'm gonna sit up here and tell you guys, if you really want to start Tekken 7 as a beginner, as a newcomer, this is also a very beginner friendly character, unfortunately. When you first look at Leroy, I thought he was gonna be a specialist character because he has the Wing Chun fighting style, he has the parries, all that shit. He looked to be technical, but this character is extremely easy. He's extremely simple. His game plan is so simple, and he has a very small move list. But every single move on his move list is fucking godlike. Every single one. You can probably win a match with Leroy not even using the whole move list. Use about half of it because it's so good. This character is so good, and he's so easy. His combos are fucking brain dead, and it's ridiculous, honestly. If you guys are watching the Evo Japan going on right now, this character is running amok on the entire Evo Japan, and he's just making a train out of Tekken, making Tekken look like a complete joke right now. You got high-level players playing this character and just completely just forgetting their own main characters because how overpowered Leroy Smith is. It's fucking ridiculous. He's a very strong character. He has good tools, great tools, godlike tools. So if you want to get a beginner-friendly character and win, play Leroy Smith at all costs. Other characters I can mention would be characters like maybe Miguel. He's also extremely easy. At a certain rank, you're probably gonna have to really lab Miguel to a certain extent because he does have extremely bad punishment and he has extremely bad range, and he has very bad matchups in some areas of the game where you're gonna have to learn how to really deal with that with Miguel. But he's also extremely easy. I'd say Dragunov is extremely easy to a very certain extent. Not really, but he does have a very simple game plan. Running 2, down 2, good block punishment, you know, back 1+2, down 4-2, hop kick, all that kind of bullshit. He's and just command grab all day, right? He might get you through green ranks, no problem, okay? Raven, don't touch these characters. Nina takes very high execution. Her game plan is also kind of simple, but it's kind of not simple because she has a very simple game plan with very high levels of execution to execute that game plan properly. So she is not a good beginner friendly character by no means, because everything she does, even from her block strings and pressure, requires exceptional execution. So I will admit that. Don't touch Nina. Master Raven, she's not a beginner friendly character no matter what anyone says. She plays a very weird style of Tekken that you're not gonna understand just coming into the game. You're not gonna understand that. Characters like Law. Someone said Law is a brain dead character. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Law is like the duality of Tekken, right? You can come into this game, he's kind of like Kazuya. You can actually look at Kazuya, or hell, even like fucking Lars or something. You can look at these characters at face value from the surface, or you can go deeper in and start seeing the true colors of these characters, okay? Let me tell you something. So Law in low ranks, it's real easy to win with him, okay? You got Dragon Tail, you got all those strings, you got the grabs, you got down 2-3, all that bullshit, right? It's real easy to win with Law in low ranks. Let me tell you something. In high ranks, Law gets fucked up by a lot of characters because he's very punishable on a lot of that bullshit that is abused in low ranks. And if you're gonna be an exceptional Law player, he takes a lot of execution, right? Law's a very strong character, no matter what any idiot says. This character is godlike in the right hands, and only in the right hands, because he takes extreme high levels of execution. And most importantly, DDS canceling, which is something that you're just not gonna understand as a newcomer. Hell, I've been playing this game for 3 fucking years and I still can't DDS cancel. So it's not gonna happen for a newcomer. So Law's not an easy character. If you want to start with this character at low ranks, be my guest. Go ahead and do it. Just do Dragon Tail all day. Do hop kicks. No one's gonna block it. But once you get to high ranks, you're probably gonna get your ass beat a lot. And that's the case with a lot of these characters in this game, right? Some say Eddie Gordo is a noob character. He excels when the opponent doesn't know how to defend against him. Once again, you go against somebody that knows the matchup, Eddie Gordo's gonna get fucked up. He's not that scary to fight against once you know the matchup. Unless it's a very, very good Eddie player who's been playing the character for a long time. I.e. a specialist character, someone who actually put time into the character and knows how to use them. Same thing with Zhao Yu. Same thing with Fang. Same thing with the Bears even. Same thing with Lee. A lot of characters in Tekken are made to be specialist characters, except for a scant few of them, like Shaheen and Kazumi. But what makes these characters hard is that these characters require what's called Tekken fundamentals, right? You gotta have good ground game, you gotta have good neutral, you gotta have good spacing, you gotta have good block punishment, good whiff punishment, you gotta have a lot of inbuilt innate skills that the game's not gonna teach you to play Kazumi and Shaheen like the tournament people do, right? Kazumi especially, she doesn't have a lot of tools. She has no lows, pretty much, like one low. She has jabs, a down 4-1, and some other punishable shit, right? So as a newcomer, you're gonna think this character's boring. Why would I play her when I could play fucking Lily with a fucking hell sweep that does 1,000,000 damage? But Kazumi is fucking top tier as fuck because she has some of the best normals, some of the best easy pressure in the game, and she has some of the most godlike just Tekken core tools that you'll ever have for a character. But you won't see that unless you just have mastered your Tekken fundamentals to a certain point. You won't see that. I'll give you an example. I used to play Shaheen back in season 1, but I never actually made the character until this season because my fundamentals just were not on par to really get the most out of this character until now. Same thing with Kazumi. These characters take just a good ground game, good sidestepping, good backdash, and to really see the true beauty of these characters. So I know this was a long video, and I do apologize. Hopefully I answered some of you guys' questions. I kind of rambled on about a lot of stuff revolving around this game, and I do apologize. It's hard to do a video like this in only like 10 or 14 minutes, okay? I gotta cut a lot of parts out. But case in point, to end the video, who are some good starting characters for newcomers in Tekken 7 Season 3? I'll name all my picks. Katarina. Miguel, to a very certain extent. Miguel, I will say, he's pretty easy. I'd say maybe Noctis. He's also extremely easy, and he's a Final Fantasy character. He's cool. Good range, good whiff punishment, but he's very unsafe, so that's a very maybe, honestly. Leroy Smith, very beginner-friendly character. Probably the most beginner-friendly character out of this entire cast right now. In high level and low level. Any level. Leroy Smith is the most easiest character to start the game with. At any level. You can be a straight idiot at this game. Pick this character, you'll probably have a good time, bro. Lars Alexanderson. I think he's pretty easy, honestly. He's a beginner-friendly character. There's a few things you're gonna want to learn with Lars, like fucking his little cancels with his dash canceling and stuff like that. But it's not really crazy to understand. He's a pretty simple character, honestly. Elisa, she's beginner-friendly in my opinion to a very certain extent. Not as beginner friendly as Lars, but she is kind of up there as well. She has her own degenerate shit that'll probably help you out in low ranks. Asuka, I think she's beginner friendly, very easy to understand, good parry, good sweeps, forward 2, good whiff punishment, very simple, easy combos, high damage. Asuka's easy. Claudio, I think he's like right at the middle because there's certain things you're gonna understand with him at a low level, and then there's certain things you're not really going to understand until you get to a certain extent with your fundamentals, because he's kind of a gimmick character and he's a little bit on the weirder side. But Claudio, I could put him like kind of like right underneath Elisa a little bit. Leo, I don't really know about Leo. Nah, I wouldn't really consider Leo. To a very certain extent, to a very small extent. None of the characters over here are beginner friendly, so don't even look at these characters. Kazuya and the Mishimas, right? The most popular characters in the game. I know a lot of people start with these characters. Do I feel like they're beginner friendly? It's very weird to say that because on paper they have very simple tools, very simple to understand. But like I said, at a certain rank, at a certain level, you're gonna plateau with these characters extremely bad, and it's gonna suck a lot unless you really put in that time and dedication to really sit your ass down and really learn how to play these characters, especially Kazuya and Jin. They have a lot of tools. Kazuya just takes pure execution and pure fundamentals generally. A lot of strings that Kazuya does at high rank get low parried. His hell sweep gets sidestepped and you get launched for it. It's gonna suck. You're gonna be crying. Jin, at a certain rank, a lot of people are gonna like start exploiting and opening you up and start sidestepping your shit. Cause Jin, everybody plays this character. There shouldn't be anybody on this game who doesn't know how to fight against Jin and Kazuya. Like, it's like Ken and Ryu. Jin and Kazuya are like Ken and fucking Ryu. There's no way you're playing Tekken and you don't know how to play against these characters. Everyone plays them. They're very simple and honest characters. And at a certain rank, you're gonna plateau with them. So I'm gonna leave these guys on a very hard maybe. If you want to learn the game with these two characters right here and start with them, be my guest, go right ahead, but just approach with very high caution and a warning that at a certain level, it's gonna be hard for you to win.